So in the last video, we saw this little chart here and the steps to take in a new project. If we've been through this, if we've got our computer, we've downloaded and installed Miniconda that we did in a few sections ago. Now we're up to here. We want to start a new project. So how exactly would we do that? Well, that's what we're going to cover in this video. We're going to work through here, start a new project, create a project folder. Yep, we'll do that. We'll get our data ready for the project that we're working on. We'll make an environment. We'll probably want to create an environment that uses much the similar tools that what we've been using in our past environment. We'll make sure that environment works by starting up a Jupyter Notebook. So if we come back to the desktop, I'm going to start up a terminal here. And so how would we go about it? If I've been working you might be working somewhere different, but for me, I've been working, so right now I'm going to change directory onto my desktop, into my ML course folder. And if I check in here, I've got a few different things going on, so a few different folders. But we've been working out of the sample project folder, or at least we have in the last few videos. So if I go into sample project, and if I ls there, which stands for list, I list all the things that are in here. So we can see there the introduction to Matplotlib, NumPy, Pandas, scikit-learn. And the thing is about this folder is that we've got an env folder in there. And now in this env folder, it's hard to say actually, env, env, short for environment. In this environment folder contains all of our tools. And if you remember way back when, if not, that's okay. We created that environment using Conda. So create an environment collection of tools using Conda. And so what we might want to do for this new project is if we go back up to where we were in the ML course folder, if I wanted to start a new project, we might want to create a project folder. That way, if we're in a new project, say for example, the one we're going to work on now, which is working on classifying whether a patient has heart disease or not, we might want to create a project-specific folder for that. And then within that folder has all of these little tidbits here, so that if we needed to share our work, we could share this folder by itself, and then hopefully someone on our team or someone else could replicate what we were working on because it's all contained in one folder. So let's do that. So if we go here, maybe we go make dir, and we'll call it, let's go project heart disease. Or no, we'll go heart disease project. And in sticking to our nomenclature, we might use hyphens instead of underscores. So we'll do that. Make dir stands for make directory, heart disease project. Now if we go ls, we've got a folder, heart disease project. So if we cd'd into that, so change directory, heart disease project. If we ls, there's nothing in there. But we want to create an environment folder like we've got up here, in here. And how then would we replicate if we went back to our sample project folder and we ls there? How would we replicate this environment? Because we know this one works because we've been working through these notebooks. And what I mean by replicate environment is that we want to use the same tools in our heart disease project as we have working through all of these introductory notebooks. So I'll show you one way that you could do it. So we first have to activate. So if we go conda env list, we first have to activate our sample project folder or environment. So let's do that. We've seen this before. Conda activate. We'll copy this path, or we could just type it out. users/daniel/desktop/ML course/sample project. Wonderful. So now that environment is activated. We can tell that because base has changed to this. And now what we want to do is we want to create a new environment based on this one. So one way to do it is to export everything that's in this env folder as a YAML file. And what a YAML file is basically a text file of instructions of how to create a new environment based off this one. So let's see it in action. We can do that by running the code conda env export, and then this little symbol, this arrow, this greater than, or I never get these correct, greater than or less than. So this is, the way I think about it is this is greater than what's on this side. Doesn't matter. This is like an arrow in this case. So it's conda env export like an arrow pointing to the file you want to export it to. So in our case, we're going to call it environment.yaml or YML, which stands for YAML. The actual way to spell YAML is YAML. If you see either of these, YML/YAML, they're the same thing. If we do that, beautiful. We get a whole bunch of different outputs here, lots of warnings. So if we go ls, we should have an environment.yaml file. So if we look at that, if we go vim environment.yaml, so this is showing us what's in our YAML folder. These are all different dependencies, so Conda packages that our previous environment is built upon. So see there, scikit-learn equals version 0.22, wonderful. We got Seaborn, wonderful. We got Python. We got a fair few things here. Now to exit Vim, we can press escape and then colon, see how it appears down here, and Q. Excellent. Now to create a new environment, we can deactivate the current one. So Conda deactivate. So we can see now we're in the base, we're back to base. And to create an environment from a YAML folder, we're going to change back into our new heart disease project folder. See here, there's nothing in it. Now we're going to run the command conda env create. See how we're in the heart disease project folder. We'll run this command in this folder. So conda env create prefix dot slash env for env, and then -f for file. And then now we're going to pass it the path to our YAML folder, that file that we just created. So dot dot, it's in the directory above, environment.yml. Beautiful. And now running this is going to create an env folder within the heart disease project file. Now doing it this way ensures that we get the exact same tools as in our sample project env. The other way we could do this is the one we've seen before, is by just going conda env create prefix dot slash env and then passing it the tools we want. Scikit-learn, pandas, numpy, matplotlib, Jupyter. We could do it that way. But in this case, we want to make sure we have the exact same tool set for this project that we've been working on. So that's why we'll run the command conda env create prefix dot slash env -f, and then we're going to pass it the path to our environment.yml file. And we'll hit enter. Now, this is going to tell Conda to go to the internet and download all of those tools that we need, such as pandas, scikit-learn, matplotlib, all the specific versions that we've been working with in our introduction series. So while this runs through, we might speed up the video and I'll see you when it's done. Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. So we've been through that. So basically Conda's just gone to the internet, grabbed all those tools that we need. We get a success message here saying that all these execution and transactions are done. And to activate the environment we just created, we can use this. But what we might do is just go conda env list to see what environments we have. So now we can see here in users, Daniel, desktop, ML course, in our heart disease project file, we now have an env file. And to activate it, we can run. Make sure you've got no other environment activated. So we're on base here. So we go conda activate. We're just going to run this code here that it's told us. Users /Daniel /desktop /ML course. Now again, of course, your path might be different. I'm just showing you an example one of what mine looks like for this heart disease project that we're going to work on. If we hit enter, we notice that base changes to this path name, so we've activated the environment. And now we're in the heart disease project file. So to test it out, we can go Jupyter Notebook. And this should bring up a Jupyter Notebook in our browser. Beautiful. If we look here, we've got the env folder. So in there, we've got a whole bunch of different stuff that Conda has created for us. And so if we go back to our Keynote, what have we done now? So we've started a new project. Yes, tick. We've created a project folder. Tick. We've created an environment, a collection of tools. And we have access to Jupyter, so we have our workspace. What we're missing now is a data folder. So we can get that. What we're going to do is if we come back to Finder, I'll show you what mine looks like, where the data is. So if we go here, ML course, we've got this heartdisease.csv. We've worked with this file before. We've worked with this comma-separated value file. So I'm going to move that into my heart disease project. And if you don't have this file, that's okay. There'll be a link in the resources section where you can download it. And so now we're almost ready to go. If we come back, we've got a project folder. We've got some data in the form of a CSV. It may be in a different style for depending on what project you're working on, but in our case, we're using CSV. We've got an environment to work with, and we've got a Jupyter notebook. Beautiful. Now it's time to get our hands on, create a notebook, and start performing some data analysis and manipulation, and then some machine learning with the tools we've used so far.